The other thing I didn't like about the i3 was the fact that it has no regen control at all. All the regen control is done through the accelerator, and you can't turn it down, you can't turn it off. It's just on all the time. It's on as if it's in B mode in this car. So if you're driving and you let your foot off the accelerator, everybody in the car is going, you know. And I'm a driver who is very conscious of tossing their passengers around. So I tend to drive very smooth. And I found driving smooth in that car. I'm sure you could do it with practice, but it was just too much effort and too much thought. I don't think I could relax in that car if I had people in the car, because I would constantly feel like, oh, I don't want to, like, especially my wife being pregnant, I'm like, I don't want to make her sick and stuff by, you know, just lifting my foot off the accelerator. Or in this car, I mean, I'm in D1, I take my foot off the accelerator and you barely feel any difference, but I am gaining back electricity. So when I'm by myself, I'll do it more aggressively because I'm not worried about throwing the passengers around, because I know when it's coming. But in the i3, I just couldn't do it. And then also the fact of the i3 is the suicide doors with kids. Good luck. I can just imagine, I could hear the crunching plastic body panels as they slam the back door on top of the front door, and just could not imagine that. And also trunk space in that car was not huge either. So in comparison to all of those, that was sort of the ones that, I mean, the BMW was also $10,000 to $15,000 more than what the e-Golf was going to be, and it has the same range. I applaud BMW for their use of materials in that car. I mean, just being able to put those materials into a production car is great. I know Volkswagen did that with the XL1, and I was hoping they would have applied that technology into this car a little more, but maybe in the next version they will use the plastic injected carbon fiber shell. But with all that effort that BMW put into the i3, it's only weighs 300 pounds less than this car. And this car weighs 300 pounds more than a standard Golf. So essentially, all that effort of lightweighting the car, the i3 still weighs as much as a Golf, a gas-powered Golf. So it also, when you get into that thing, you start to consider, well, what's the repair costs going to be on something like that, where, you know, it's a very bespoke car, so everything on it is made specifically for that vehicle, which is still made in very small numbers compared to the rest of the lineup. Whereas this car is a Golf, and most things about it, especially on the outside, the stuff that gets damaged, is just Golf parts. So if I get a fender ding, it's just a Golf fender. It's not a special kind of fender, it's not a one-off, it's not a, you know, it's just a Golf fender. And that's a bit of a peace of mind as well, that it's not going to be some exotic repair. The last car I drove was a Tesla Model S. It was I think it was an 85, it wasn't the P85. And at the time, there wasn't the insane or ludicrous mode versions out. So the 85 was the one that I drove. It was awesome, as always. Just doing the burst onto the freeway was fun, and I definitely hit the the limiter on the test drive car very quickly. And the thing that really made us look actually kind of seriously at the Tesla was the fact that you could get the 7-passenger version where with the 2 rear-facing kid seats in the back, which made that car 1,000 times more practical. I mean, we could drive that car to LA with both our kids and my wife's parents and still have room for luggage without having to take a giant SUV. But the cheapest we could get one with those seats, I think, was still around $87,000. So yeah, that just wasn't going to happen. But it was a good experience to do, and I highly recommend it. Even if you can't afford it, just do it. Just go test drive. They're very nice about it, and you will experience why that car is so amazing. So, would I consider the e-Golf now in light of the Dieselgate? And I think, given all the criteria that I used prior to that debacle, I think I would consider it a little bit more, but I think my answer would still be yes. Mainly because, to me, it's the package that makes the most sense. I don't feel like I'm, I don't want to have to apologize for my car, and I still don't have to. I mean, this car has no emissions, and it's kind of hard to hide that. And if it comes to light that anything is not what they say it is in this car, then it's because they overestimated. Because this car does not feel as slow as what their numbers are. And range-wise, I mean, there have been no complaints about range in this car from any of the drivers that I know of, as far as what was promised and what it can do. So from that aspect, I think I still would have chosen this car over those other cars. And this car, as far as I'm concerned, the e-Golf is VW's savior car. If they really want to make amends and bring the company back to life, I think they really, really need to consider just going full force on all of their electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles.